Now, I wonder, have we got anyone here who is either 8 years old or nearly 8 years old? No, nearly 8. Fantastic. We have got someone nearly 8. And I guess when you were born, your parents had lots of hopes and dreams about how you'd grow up into a beautiful young lady, how you'd be kind, how you'd do well at school. They had lots of hopes and dreams for you. Well, next week, we're going to be 8 years old too. This church, St. Swithin's, we're going to be 8 years old. And when we planted here, when the church was sort of born, if you like, born afresh, we had loads of hopes and dreams too. We hoped that this place would grow to be a place, firstly, where people could come and find the love of God. Secondly, where we'd learn to live more like Jesus. And thirdly, as we've already talked about, this would be a place that you could go from to your schools, to your friends, to your workplaces, full of the Holy Spirit, and share the amazing love of Jesus. And that through that, we'd see lives and we'd see communities changed and transformed. And so it's so good to be gathered here today to see people of all ages. Later on in the service, we're going to be baptizing Tom and Sam, two people who've had their lives changed by Jesus. But there's been so many more stories of that. And in our next 2 weeks, we're going to continue our Come and Eat series. But I want us to look these next 2 weeks, how do we go about, so how does Joel, when he goes into school, how do you when you go into work, how do you when you go to your neighbors, how do we actually see people's lives transformed? How do we actually see communities changed? How do we actually see our friends and our neighbors and the people of this city want to know Jesus? And this story that we've heard today, I think, is going to help us do this. This story about the greatest feast ever is going to help us. Now, I don't know who's left these here, but because it's our birthday, I guess, somebody has laid us a pretty good feast here. I love a bit of a cupcake, and there's plenty here. And there's a little card here as well. I wonder, could someone just come and open it and read it for me? Is that okay? Brilliant. Come, don't run away. Don't run away. Rip it. Go on. Live on the edge. There we go. Right. Do you want to open it up and have a look and see what it says? It says, These
are the best cake ever. Please eating to your heart content.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. These are the best cakes ever. Please eat to your heart's content, which sounds like a brilliant invitation to me. I don't know who left them there for me, but thank you very much. And boom, I'm going to enjoy eating those to my heart's content. Now, to eat those, someone's kindly laid them on for me. To eat all of those is obvious. To not eat them, to leave them there and go, I'm going to leave them there because I'm going to talk to you, you'd be a little bit crazy. Someone has laid on these cakes. To not eat them would be madness. But that's what the guests in the parable, in the story that Jesus told, do. Jesus is like the master of the banquet, and he's sent his servants out to invite people to come and enjoy this massive feast that I've laid on for you. But we read that some people made excuses not to come. They made excuses not to come, which is madness, because when someone's laid on a brilliant feast for you, why would you turn it down? And so what I want to ask all of us this morning, whether you're 3 or 4 or 34 or 43 or keep going, is have you accepted that invitation from Jesus. Jesus invites all of you to come and eat at his table. Have you accepted that invitation? Now, it might be you go, yes, of course, that's why I'm here. But actually, those guests in the story had already been invited once because it was a big, big party. And so what had happened weeks before is the servants would have gone out and they'd have said, save the date, my master's throwing a really good party, are you in? And they would have said, yes. They'd have accepted the invitation. But a few weeks later, once the party was ready, once the feast was laid on, the servants would have gone back out and they'd have gone, guess what? The feast is ready. Come on, come and feast. And at that point, they go, I'm too busy. I've got this to do. I've got that to do. So you say we can accept the invitation. We can be here on a Sunday. We can say we're Christians. But actually, have we really accepted that everyday invitation? Every day, Jesus invites us to come and know him and sit down and eat with him and feast. You see, to see lives and communities transformed, we need our own lives transformed first. Now, a party, a feast, I could make my way through these cakes. They are very nice indeed. I'm going to keep eating them. But to be honest, a party by yourself isn't much fun. Like, if there's just one of you at a party, even though the cake's nice, it gets a little bit boring. So I'm just wondering if there's someone else here who might like to come to my party. Are you okay to be on camera? Is that okay? Hope you come then, Desi. Would you like a seat at my table? Come and grab a seat. There's loads of cakes here. I can't probably eat them all. So you just dig in. Have as much as you want. Enjoy the feast. Is that all right? Do you want a cup of tea? Yeah, there's nothing in it, but just pretend. All right, you enjoy eating. There's some others that want to come and join as well. I wonder if Vicky, we won't get you all at the table, but if you come and sit on one of these cushions at the front, then there might be some cakes there that you can enjoy as well. Now, you see, a party or a feast isn't much fun with just one person there. That's not the point of a party. And you know, to see lives and communities transformed, we need to have our own lives transformed. But actually, we need our church community to be transformed as well. How are you guys doing?
Very good.
Very good. How are you doing? Good. Can you see what happens as we gather round? They're all these kids, they're gathered round, they're together. And actually, that's to be a picture of us as a church. Not only do we need our own lives to be full of Jesus, but this is a picture of what church should be. This isn't really a picture of what church should be. Coming on a Sunday, sitting in rows, facing the front, listening to some bloke talk. Church is this. And you know, that's why things like midweek groups are important. That's why things like Connect Time are really important. That's why we look for ways to gather outside of a Sunday, because this is what church is about, gathering together. And unless we can do that as a community, unless we can be transformed as a community, which sometimes mean just talking to people we kind of familiar with because we see them every Sunday, but we've never had a conversation with them. Or it sometimes mean there's people who maybe are in the church that we don't really know or maybe don't even like. That's okay. We're all human. But actually, this is to be the picture of church, eating together. And I think particularly coming out of COVID, where we've been so disjointed, that the next year, this is really important for us. If we're going to reach others with the love of Jesus, we need to know how to share the feast between us first. How you doing? Have another one. There's loads to go around. Now, the thing is, these do taste really, anyone's mouth watering. These are, they do taste really good. But there's more room at the table. And to be honest, they are so good that I would really quite like to share them, to be honest with you. Because the thing is, if me and Desi eat these by ourselves, we're actually going to be sick. And I certainly... She's begging for someone to come up. She needs someone to come and eat with her. And actually, certainly if I keep eating, I'm going to get a little bit flabby, or more flabby, around the edges. It's not good for our health. And in the same way, this parable tells us, actually, Jesus sends the servants out again. There's more to eat. There's room for more at the table. Go out and bring more in. And actually, as a church, if we sit here quite comfortable and go, we've got loads of good stuff here, isn't it fun meeting together? We can have a feast together. Actually, we're going to be sick, and we're going to get a little bit flabby around the edges. Jesus has provided for us this amazing feast, his love, his peace, his joy. It would be silly not to share it. And if we don't, we'll get sick and we'll get a little bit flabby. So I'm going to ask Sam. Where's Sam? Sam, come and join us. Come and take a seat. These are really good. Come and eat. Have one. Pace yourself. Now, the reason I've got Sam up is we're going to baptize Sam later. And the reason Sam's going to be baptized is because someone, a few years ago, invited him to Alpha. Someone said, wow, we've found this stuff in Jesus at St. Swithin's. Why don't you come and eat? And that's why Sam is being baptized today. So are we a church who consumes, or are we a church who compels others to come in? Are we a church who holds on tightly to what we have and closes the table? Or are we generous and welcoming? So I'm going to get someone else up now just to come and enjoy the feast. Do you want to come up? Yeah, up you come. Come and have a piece of cake. All yours. Come and eat. They're really good. Jesus says again in that parable, even when they've gone out once to invite more people, he says, go out again. We've never met, have we? We have. Tell me your name.
Kenny.
Katie.
Kenny.
Kaney. And I'm Jim. We've never met. Jesus says, go out even further to those people that you've not met and invite them to come in and eat. He keeps sending out. So let's have one more person. Kira, come and join us. Just sit on the end. Just don't fall off the stage. That's the pattern, to keep on going out one by one. We don't need to put on huge events. We don't need to do massive pleas, massive invites. We just, each time, one person at a time, come and eat. And we could say now, our table's full. Like, isn't it great? All these people have come to eat, but there's still plenty to go around. And the danger is with churches that what we do is we stop when we're full. We stop when we're full. But what Jesus says in this parable is that we should never be full. That there's always space for more to come and join us. That we should always be leaving space to invite more. And so really, we're going to look at this a little bit next week about how we lay the table for people. But I just want to challenge us this morning. First of all, have you accepted the invitation to come and eat? Not just once, but every day, to come and to feast, because there's always plenty of Jesus' love to go around. Have you accepted? Do you keep accepting that invitation? But then secondly as well, how are you, not just how are we, but how are you individually, as part of this community, making sure that we're inviting others in and making sure that we never have closed groups, that we're never too busy looking inwards, that we're not always aware that we need to create space and room for more. Not because we want to grow a big church, because what Jesus has on offer is so tasty and so amazing. Why would we not want to share it? Amen? Amen. Let's stand together. Thank you, guys. Feel free to take one for the road.